intimidating. And for a lot of the countries of Eastern Europe, even a sick Russia is still a menace. And actually, with the billions of dollars they've got, they can attack us in some ways that are still a menace to us.
You say the most disastrous mistake that was made in the 90s was thinking that Russia would slowly and gently develop into a Western-style democracy. With the prospect being that bleak, what is the chance that Russia will develop into a Western-style democracy?
Well, I don't like the word democracy because it can mean so many different things. We have a Democratic Republic of North Korea and we have the German Democratic Republic. So I tend to go...
But you know what I'm talking about.
I tend to go... I like political freedom and the rule of law. Those are much crunchier, clearer concepts. And they're both along... On both of those, Russia's going backwards at the moment. But I do think that we must never let the Kremlin rewrite history its way without challenge. Now, there's another tradition in Russian history. It's not all about authoritarianism and empire. It starts with the Decembrists, it goes through Alexander Herzen, or Gerzen as the Russians call him, and Mandelstam, Akhmatova, through Sakharov, Brodsky. There's this different story. There's always this other tradition in Russia of a hunger for freedom and tolerance, and which mustn't be allowed to be forgotten.
And is there any economic development, like the formation of a middle class, that could sustain that part of the Russian mind?
Absolutely. There is, I wouldn't say a middle class yet, but a business class developing, millions and millions of people who live lives very similar to ours, who worry about costs, customers, competition, their share price. They have workplace relations with colleagues that are similar to the West. And they are fed up with bad infrastructure, bad public services, bad tax administration, the customs regime that makes it so difficult to export. And that frustration, I hope, will turn from being an economic frustration into a political one. And at the moment, the main push is for more legality, more dependability, more consistency in business life. And that's great. We all recognise that in our own countries. But it can spread. And although many of those people, if you ask them now, would sound pro-Putin, I think in 4 or 5 years' time, they may be thinking, when are we going to get a proper government that runs this country efficiently and with freedom, and where we can express our views effectively? And that is a very optimistic thing. I mean, it's coming late, and a lot of time has been wasted, and Russia, in a way, will be in a bigger mess by the time that finally crystallises into being a real middle class with all that means. But it is absolutely something I hang most of my hopes on.
Yeah, because that's where our hope lies in the end. Well understood self-interest of a growing business class.
It does, but I have to say, so far, the young Russians tend to be politically less liberal than the old Russians. And as I say in the book, the most anti-Western, illiberal segment of the population in a big survey that was done by Sarah Mendelsohn at CSIS in Washington was young, male, university-educated Muscovites. And that's pretty ominous. Yeah. So that the danger of the dark side is still very strong.
Mr. Lucas, thank you very much.
Thank you.